So what do you think? Should we do, let's make a quick little app. This isn't going to do much for us, right? We just have our blank app, but what do you think? Like an input and a button?
I think just a plain button and maybe some text output, and it'll be like random dice roll.
Okay.
Like, and this is actually going to lead up to one of the first couple weeks when I was working with Joe on like reactivity, and it's like we're going to get to this deduping random dice rolls.
What?
So, yeah.
Okay, so we're going back. Going back to the good old days.
Yeah.
All right, and
yeah,
so
action button, perfect.
And then the text output. You're thinking
like verbatim text output, maybe.
Okay.
Just to have it look code-like, and then we'll. We'll add a label to the button.
Oh yeah.
Of roll dice or something.
Dice? All right. Are we going to do more than one?
Is it singular?
Wouldn't it be roll the die?
It just sounds so weird.
It does. So again, we're going to skip over making this beautiful and go straight into the programming logic.
Absolutely. I like how you understand me.
All right, so this is a super fun game. It's gonna roll the dice and it's gonna give us some kind of output. And then we're gonna work in different ways to do this. Okay, so we would traditionally in our server function, we would want some kind of like output, code like text. And then how do you want to approach this? What do you want to do?
Let's do render text and say like dice file, like a reactive, which is called dice file. So.
Oh, okay. So you're saying dice val.
Yep. And then let's make dice file as a reactive outside of 14.
Yeah.
Somewhere before. Yeah.
So we've got our reactive value. So this is the value of our dice, aka single die. But it's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. And then that itself is dice file open close in 17.
Mm-hmm.
And 14, we can, instead of a reactive val, we could probably shorten it to just a reactive.
Okay.
That listens to it has a curly bracket on the inside, and it listens to like what input $button01.
Yes. So input. Oh, okay. Wait, I screwed up my formatting. Sorry.
Right? It's all. It can be multi-line. I like multi-line. Yeah, input dollar.
Okay, input
button one.
Button one. There we go. So that's what we're listening to.
We're listening to it, but the actual thing that we're doing after line 15 inside the curly bracket, because just a reactive. Oh, sorry. We're doing eventReactive, right? EventReactive. We listen to the button, right? Yeah.
Okay, so we're making this
my
an
bad.
event.
Yeah, my bad.
That's okay. You were talking about a reactive. My brain was thinking about an event reactive. And between the two of us, we had just
something
an absolute clash. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Reactivity is not necessarily the most intuitive thing to work on.
Nah.
All right. So that's
separating.
Yeah.
Great. So that's good. And then comma curly, and we'll do like random dice val or something like that. Like we can either just do the logic here, or we can make the function somewhere else.
And are you just thinking of like sample 1 through 6?
1, yeah. And then we can get rid of the assignment and just say sample 1 to 6 1.
Oh, so.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And let's get rid of the curlies right where your cursor's at, because we're storing it to the name dice val, not to the. So dice val open close on 14. Delete the open close. Great.
Okay. We're use the, yes. Woo, woo, reactivity pre-coffee.
So this should work.
Let's find out. It's an
Yeah.
adventure. All right. So when we click roll dice, theoretically, what should happen is we should get a printout of a number.
Ta-da!
Let's just, there we
Ta-da.
go. I think we're getting all the numbers. Beautiful. All right. We've rolled our dice. We get our number. Let's go to Vegas.
Absolutely. So let's actually, yeah, so this works. Let's look at, can we do in like after line 9, do like placeholder is true?
Yes. And so that's just going to leave, like when we restart,
oh, comma.
Listen, first of all.
Great. So there's just at least the box.
Yep. So we're expecting, as a user, I'm expecting something to show up there. I'm not just looking like, what happens when I push the button? Theoretically, this is a visual cue that something will pop out there.
See, I do like a little bit of UI.
A little bit. Yeah, let's not go overboard today.
Yeah, let's not push it. Okay. All right. So things work. Like this is awesome. So let's try to rewrite eventReactive without saying eventReactive. Like, how could we do this? And let's not use the newer bindEvent. Let's actually break it down to the primitives of what's happening.
We are essentially saying dice val, and we want to do this without an eventReactive. So basically we're saying what happens when we run eventReactive, because eventReactive is like a wrapper function for some other things that are happening under the hood. And if I remember correctly, it's it's not a reactive and an isolate, is it?
It is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So let's see. So dice val, is it reactive?
Let's actually
go ahead.
Let's actually go back to our old app and update it just a little bit.
Okay.
So that we can get some more reactiveness that the isolate will show off.
Perfect.
So let's add in after the action button, like a slider or a numeric input that'll tell us like how many dice we're gonna roll, or like what's the highest number on the dice.
Oh, okay.
I like the highest number because then
let's see, select like, max number.
Yeah, great.
Of the dice.
And then we'll need a like a min, max, and selected and value. Yeah, min is 1.
Min will be 1. Max will equal. Ooh, so max would. I'm trying to think of. This is like what the person is. Oh no, never mind. We're setting up our input. So what is it? Is it 20-sided die? Is that the highest we can go?
A nat 20. Yeah.
Nat 20. It's step, or no? Is it step or by? Step.
Step is 1, and yeah, value is 6. Let's just start with the default small dice. Great. And then we can listen to that in our sample down in 26. So sample will be, I think we can.
Can I do 1 to input? Oh,
I think sample.int, is that something?
Ooh.
But it's the same thing, same concept as where you're heading. Sample.int.
It is. Yes.
Of n, right? So up to n.
Okay. So instead of this, I'm just gonna comment it out so we can see what we're working with. So you're saying sample.int, and we're gonna go, let's see, n is a positive, the number of items to choose from. So this would be our input?
Yep.
Okay. No, wait. Yeah.
Yep.
It is an input here, and then it is It's a descriptive name, but it's long. All right, so that is the number that they've selected. And then
size is 1.
Yes, giving the number of it. So size will be 1.
Great.
Is there anything else? Yeah, there, I think we're good.
Yeah, so that should be equivalent. You could do 1: input dollars select max number, like that works fine as well.
Okay, so you're saying here we could have rewritten this as sample 1 to input select
yes
number.
Yes.
Okay, so if we were looking for something, yeah, we'll
Great.
keep that there if people want to see it. So yes. Great. So this should, okay, so everything runs. Let's say instead of 6, and we do expect it, this is a bug we talked about in our last video, so we expect that. You can override it, so and then we'll roll the dice. So it is more than 6, which is good. That at least as an initial kind of unit test says to me, great, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is throwing up a red flag. I suppose there are edge cases we could still work on, etc. But this isn't a testing video.
Yeah. No, it looks good. Cool. All right. So now we have this event reactive. Now and it listens to a button, and on the button click, we sample a number for a new dice roll. Perfect. Yeah. The end result is dice file is a reactive, which we can then read later for the render text.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
now it's here. Great. I love it.
So let's go down the route of deconstructing back to the primitives of just reactive and isolate.
Okay.
And so observe if we need it, but I don't think so in this answer.
Okay, so we're going to take this right here, everything that I've just commented out, and we're going to break it up into a reactive and an isolate.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to call it the same thing. And then when I'm thinking about a reactive and an isolate, which one comes first? Does it matter? Can I do both? Can I switch them? Or is how would I approach this if I'm thinking about?
So the answer that you're getting back is a reactive, and isolates occur in the reactive expression. So isolate needs to be inside the curlies. Okay,
so if I'm getting ready to basically write my own event reactive, this would be my starting place.
That's pretty good, yep.
Okay, so isolate is inside my reactive. So I need to think about what I'm isolating and what I want to be reactive. And we're talking about reactive, we're talking about responding to changes in the UI.
Correct.
Okay. So let me think about this. So what we had here, so there's the button, and I'm guessing we want to isolate the button click.
Okay, we can write it out.
I feel like I just walked into a trap.
Slightly.
Yes.
Okay, and then how are we handling 26?
26. Okay. So, wait a minute. I would like to revise my answer, because what I want to isolate my sample int. I want to basically say once we have this value, then pass it to a reactive.
Okay.
Can I change it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I mean, I know I can, but if there's a lesson to be learned.
Nah, it's, you're seeing what's going to happen. So, all right, so we've handled 26. Now, how do we handle 23?
Yeah, so would I put that would I put that in here? So input.
So that would be very similar code to event reactive.
Yeah.
But reactive only has one expression that it can take.
Oh, okay. Got it. So reactive, we put the curlies so that we can do multi-line.
Yep.
And then does it, okay. So input, I'm not sure that this isn't quite right. I feel like.
So the comma, the comma is not necessary because it's an expression from 28 to 31. And so input button will trigger reactivity, but then we will isolate 30. And so we will use the value for select max number, but we will not resample if the max number changes.
Oh.
So this is the answer. This is
okay.
great. Let's give it a shot, see if it works.
I was like, wait, what did I do wrong? This makes sense to me.
Nah, everything's spot on.
All right, so we have our initial value of 6. Oh, it did roll for us, so that's one thing that's going on.
Okay. We can adjust that afterwards. That's right. A cool change.
Yeah, that was unexpected. So, well, I mean, I guess some of you expected it. I didn't. And then let's see if we can get this guy. We said we could go up to 20. Great, we're rolling above 20 or above 6. So I feel like our basic wiring is intact. The one thing is that if I reload, it automatically rolls for me. So that is something that we do need to think a little bit.
Do you have a quick idea on how to address that?
I'm really hoping it's rec.
It is rec.
Can I just wrap input button 1 in rec?
Absolutely. Because the default value for input button 1 is falsy. It's 0.
So basically we're saying rec means require. And so we're requiring that button to be pushed. So because the button hasn't been pushed, nothing is rolling. But now we can make our changes. And then when we push the button, we get a value.
Yay. Awesome.
All right, so we've taken event reactive, we've broken it down. Now which direction do you want to go?
Let's go to the bindEvent. So we're going to the other extreme and be like, how can we rewrite event reactive to just use bindEvent and reactive? Okay,
so I don't think I've used bindEvent at all. So I'm really looking forward to this. So where do we start? How do I start thinking about bindEvent?
So let's look at the event reactive just because it's very explicit as to what's happening. Okay. So event reactive has 2 situations. It has I listen to this situation and then I perform that as another expression. And so the perform that returns a reactive. So let's just make a reactive where we sample the int.
Okay. So we're talking about reactive, and then, oh my goodness, sample int, put select max number, and then size equals 1. Okay, so we've got that reactive.
Awesome. And we could just, let's run this app just to see what it does.
Love it. Okay, so it works once, right? So when I reload the app, it rolls, but the app is rolling for me. And no matter how many times I click the button, it will not re-roll.
But if you change the max dice number, it will.
All right, so it's basically made my button useless. It's like a redundant button because all I have to do is change the number and I get a re-roll. So we're short-circuiting something in here.
Yes. So we want to listen to the button click. And so we're going to bind to the event of the button click.
Okay, and here's where I get to I stopped mid-sentence, but I was like, I get to do a pipeable function.
I get to do things.
Yeah, I get to do, and then I'm just going to trail off. Yeah. All right, so I love the way that you explain this, right? We're gonna do the sampling, but we're gonna bind it to this clicking of the button. So if I run this, I'm anticipating this will be fine, this will say 6, and this will be blank.
Let's hope. McGritter?
We forgot to load our...
Yeah. Should we go native pipe? Are you on the latest?
I have never used it, so let's do both to show that they're equivalent.
I'm so scared. I've never done it.
Because this should work, theoretically.
Yes.
Let me stop my app just because it crashed, so... Look at that! All right, so roll the dice, it works. If I change it, it's not changing on its own, it requires that. That's great. So this for everyone at home, that is the base R pipe. You can definitely use that. If we want to use our kind of more a tidyverse style pipe, we could do library recruiter, and then you can swap out this guy for this. These are all equivalent, right? So this right here is where we broke down into the primitive functions to get our dice roll. And then this is using eventReactive, which accomplishes the same thing, but people might be more familiar with. And then this uses bindEvent. So bindEvent is newish. I mean, in the history of Shiny, it's new. Are there situations where I don't want to use bindEvent, or like where bindEvent wouldn't be appropriate? Or is it just kind of always there as a good substitute or drop-in for my eventReactive and my observe event?
It's a good substitute. I'd say it's like the new school way, because rather than having more and more arguments, you can just have more and more decorators, these extra functions. Cool. So this is like the end of this idea.
I love it.
But I would love to go down the route of how can we make a function of deduping, and it might go towards closures, it may not.
Do you want to get rid of like these guys?
Yeah, we could get rid of those. And the idea is that I think we'll start the and we can talk about this, but I want to start the random dice roll at like 3. The max height is 3, and then that way it's like I want a random number that isn't. So no, that one's fine. We can keep it there, but put the value at 3.
Okay.
And the goal is like when you roll the dice, you never get the same number that you had before. Like that's a requirement.
Oh, okay. So to deconstruct this a little bit, when I run sample, I can set replace equals true or replace equals false. Right.
Fair.
So I'm just running sample. But even though I'm doing a flavor of sample here, even if I set replace equals false, because it's reactive, that behavior is going to be overridden.
Yeah, reactive will always return a new. It'll send down saying please. I can't think of the word. Brain fart. It's like
a fresh start for sample int. So
every single time.
Yeah. So even if I do, let's see if we can.
So replace won't matter because it's size 1. But you could sample. You could call sample int of like 2 of size 1, and in like the console, and it will come with like the same answer multiple times.
Right.
Possibly.
We do sample int input. Oh no, there's no input. Sample
just like
int
2,
and then we said size equals 1.
And so okay, we get 2, great. And do we do it again? We get 2 again. And the reactivity would actually say that that's a new value, and it would redraw it again. And that's fine. But I don't want, and now it finally goes to 1.
Yeah.
So the goal for me is to more like, what if we had a deduper that said every time you click the button,
don't use any number that you've already seen.
Or at least not the prior one.
Okay, so we're saying you can never roll. Okay, so this is a great clarification. We're saying you can re-roll. You can't re-roll the number that you just ran.
Yes.
So we just have to look back 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, yep. Exactly.
Ooh. Okay, so I thought it was like, okay, if we have a 6-sided die, we basically, once we roll a number, it's out. And I think my approach to that, I was like, oh, okay, we'll just like store those numbers somewhere. But now we're doing something a little different. So, okay, I'm really excited to see how you would approach this. Let's do this. So we're just saying like, if we roll 2, we can roll any number that isn't 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe we should bump our min to 2.
Okay.
on the numeric, because a min of 1 wouldn't make sense. We'd get forever true.
That's true. That's true. Oh, look at you thinking of edge cases right out of the box.
Yeah,
All right.
forever. Awesome. Okay, cool. So how like do you have any crazy ideas on how this might happen?
So,
Um,
kind of what I'm thinking of is we need some way to store the number that we just rolled,
Great.
right? R needs some way to kind of catch that number. So I'm thinking it almost needs to be like this temporary assignment of
We can make it a reactive one, because any
oh,
time we're doing a value, that's according to user actions. Typically, it's a reactive or
yeah.
reactive val in this case.
Okay,
So
so
if you're doing a variable, it's now a reactive val.
yeah, so last roll exists. And so now I'm thinking about there's like a timing component to this that is really interesting because if I just do reactive val, um, dice val,
Mhm.
right, those will be the same every time I do them. So I need to stagger in some way. So for example, I think this will work because I haven't refreshed my code, right? So I've rolled a 3. Now I want to store 3 and remove it from like my possible rolls.
Fair. Let's try to go through this a little bit more explicit, but we could
Okay.
get smart with it later.
Yes. Let's
Um,
brute force it, then clean it up.
Perfect. So 25,
Yeah.
inside 25, you were saying you want to know your previous value.
Hmm.
And so let's retrieve like current roll or prev roll or something like that.
Okay, so I have
Yeah.
last roll, and then would I set this equal to current roll?
That's like new roll.
Okay. I like that better.
Okay. And then so this is our new one. And then we would be like while new roll doesn't or double equals last roll.
Oh, okay. So well, new roll. Yeah. So well or new roll. Sorry, hang on. New roll is equivalent to last roll. We want to keep rolling.
Last roll open close because it's a
Thank you.
reactive
It's
file.
reactive. This is such a great example of reactivity. I mean, I know you know that.
Oh, it's this one. It let me know that you can really bank on rules, and it was really neat.
Yeah.
Um,
So, right. So we're just going to re-roll until they're not equal.
yep. So we'll need to on 28. We'll need to update your new roll value.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. Well, new roll is equivalent to last roll. And then, yeah. So then new roll.
Sampling. And then at the end of the reactive expression, we want to return the new roll value. So we'll say return, yeah, or not return, but just new roll at the end, because it's the last value being.
Yes. Yes. This also gets me all the time. But yeah, okay. Yes.
I think it actually works when you say return, but
it does, but we don't need to.
we don't need to.
Yes. We could print, we could message, we could do all kinds of things there, but we should be fine with just this.
Mm-hmm. So the default dice roll is 3, so there's a high probability that you would get the same number. So if we click it like 5, 6 times, we should always, the goal is to always see a new number.
All right. So
Yeah.
reloaded the app. Let's see what happens.
Oh, crash and burn. So we need to maybe say, set something for last roll, because what's happening is it's saying like while the new int equals null is what's happening on 27. So let's just default it to like what?
Do we want to
0?
Well, do we want to default it to 0? Well, 0 is good because I was going to say let it roll, but I like 0 better because 0 is not actually within our realm of possibility. It's like not in our number set. So, and it's much simpler than re-rolling. Yes. I like your approach better. So
you could also do like if not null, last roll, then do stuff. So
yeah, but
great.
this will be faster than, I mean, marginally faster, but we're not writing a big if statement.
Yes.
This is much clearer, though, with some abstraction. All right, so when we roll the dice, we should never get the same number twice. Made a rhyme.
Well, we will.
Oh no!
Oh no!
No! What is happening? This logically makes sense to me.
It does. But we're missing the final step. So now that we have a new roll, we need to do what?
We need to replace the last roll.
There we go. So let's make a new reactivity because that logic is solid. So let's keep it there.
Okay.
And we're going to, this is a side effect because we don't care about the actual answer. So we're going to do, instead of a reactive, we're going to do a what? For side effects.
Oh, I'm sorry. Observe event.
Yes,
No.
observe event. But
Okay.
we just learned about bindEvent. So let's try to write this as an observe with bindEvent.
Okay. Oh, okay. So instead of observe event, we're going to do, Barret, look at you just tying everything together. Barret had the master plan. I'm literally along for the ride. All right. So we should do we want to call this updated last roll?
But we don't need the answer, so it's just going to be a plain observe.
Oh, that's right. Right. You don't have to assign your observers, basically. Long and short of it. I still try though. All right, so we are going to observe, would it be input button 1?
Nah, I think we can just observe the dice roll.
Okay, so new roll or last roll? Right.
Well, let's go ahead and pipe to the bindEvent because then we can talk about the two situations. So let's take the observe and then pipe to bindEvent.
All right, let's get some formatting in here.
So what are we wanting to do? We are wanting to update last roll when dice val is updated.
All right, so we basically want to say last roll equals new roll.
Great, so let's do that on 36. That's the action that we're going to do. So last roll, and then inside the parentheses, we'll say new roll isn't accessible from here, but that's the value of dice val. So let's capture dice val.
I really wish I had done dice val with, anyway, underscore, but that's okay.
We can switch it. It's not too much, but.
All right, let's do it real quick. If you're following along at home, we've just added an underscore.
And then, yeah, so on 36, new roll does not exist here. And dice val will be underscored and executed.
All right, it doesn't exist. Would I super assign it?
Nope, so we'll just remove it because we can't retrieve new roll. We can only retrieve dice val. So let's execute dice val because dice val right now is a function.
Okay.
But if we execute it, then we're retrieving the reactive value.
Okay.
Great. So this will update last roll with the value of dice val.
So real quick question. Is that equivalent to saying last roll?
No, because that's the urge to do because we are very familiar with variables where we can say like a is 5. But to update a reactive val, you need to submit it to the function. Okay. So the update method is inside last roll. And yeah. So I kind of think of reactive vals as a getter and a setter. To get the value, you don't send anything. To set the value, you send in something.
Okay.
It's overloaded. I like the idea of an arrow, but
yeah, it doesn't work because this is
today.
More like where we're passing functions to functions. This is like a quirk of R that we can do
Yes.
this. Okay,
Yeah.
so it should work now, right?
But we need something in 40.
Oh shoot, that's right. What are we gonna bind it to? Right, otherwise it's just gonna like do its thing. I'm guessing we're just gonna bind it to input button 1.
So it may work because we're performing both actions when input button executes,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a theoretical edge case of what if 35 runs before 25?
Right, because we have to remember that Shiny scripts don't run line 1 to line whatever. They don't run in order. They're more like dynamic, right?
Yes. So
So just because
may
like,
happen, but
yeah, so if
can't
observe runs
guarantee.
first, now we're stuck.
Um, yeah, so if 35 were to run before 25, then that
Can
would be
I
bad.
can I bind this to the dice val function? Like dice
Yes,
val has to be called?
yes, dice val. Awesome. I think this will work.
I'm going to stop it since I think I crashed it last time. We'll get a clean start. Okay. So we expect when we hit roll dice that we're
Not
going
V3.
to get not 3. We're going to just get like new numbers here. It should not be, so 1. So I shouldn't see 1. Got a 2, 3. All right. Look at that. That's so cool. I would have never, this is such a great example too, because I was like, oh, bindEvent would naturally bind to almost what I would think of as like a physical event, like I'm clicking a button or I'm seeing a physical change, but I can bind the event to a function call.
To any reactive value, any set of reactivity.
Okay.
And you can have, I think you can have rec statements in there. You
Stop.
can like, it's just think of it as what would we do in the beginning of that reactive expression. You can do lots of logic. You can hit lots of reactivity.
All right. Okay. I want to see what people do with this. I want to see all kinds of things. I want to see what you can do with bindEvent.